Hey actors, it's Wendy Elaine Wright, the Hollywood talent manager in Glendor, California. Confused? It's just a little bit outside of Los Angeles, and I love it out here. It's away from all the grind and the traffic and the noise, and it's like a really small community feel. I love it out here. It's where my business partner, Wendy Lyles, lives, and I come out here all the time to work from her home to get outside of Los Angeles and the crazy people there. Anywho, I wanted to talk to you guys today about how do you deal with stress? How do you deal with jerks? How do you deal with people who really try to mess you up? It's really important when someone tries to screw you over or screw you up that you realize that you are in control of your own reactions and you are in control of how you respond to each and every situation in your life. And having peace means choosing your responses and not just reacting. It took me a long time to realize that. When I was younger, a few short years ago, things would happen to me in my life and I would just react, Someone would do something that would hurt my feelings and I would be like a cat, like you just stepped on my tail, and I would turn around, wow! And I did that for many years, even to my friends. When I felt wounded and I felt like somebody hurt my soul or my spirit or my feelings, I punched back. And I didn't ever have a lot of time in between when they did that and my reaction. But as I grew up, I realized that I choose kindness and I choose light and I choose love. And it's easy to be kind to people who are being kind. Right? It's easy to be graceful and kind and sweet and loving to people who are treating you well. But when people are not acting the way you think they should, or they're not being kind enough, and I don't mean abusive, because no one should tolerate that, ever. I'm just talking about people, they're rude, or they're just disrespecting you maybe in some way, or they don't respond in a certain way that you would prefer. It's important not to retaliate against people. It's important not to find revenge against people or to try to pay people back for what they've done to you that was harmful or hurtful. Unless, they broke the law or they assaulted you or something, and then all bets are off. But I'm just talking about, say you're on set and the DP or the second AD or the first AD or someone's just short with you. If you get in your head about that and start taking it personally, you're going to have a rotten time on set. And every time you look at that person, you're going to look at them through the filter of like, I hate that person, or that person's so rude, and you're going to carry anger into each moment, which doesn't free you up to be acting in the moment. It doesn't free you up to be fully connected to the character unless you use that anger for the character. That's okay. But the point is like, don't allow other people to take up space in your head and screw with your mind. They call that like taking up rent in your head or whatever. It's like when someone does something to you, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Right? Just let it go. Because every moment you spend festering and replaying that situation over and over in your head, you're not in the moment of your own life. You are in the past or in some kind of circumstance that's not really happening, playing it over and over in your head, thinking, well, I should say this and I should do that and I could retaliate like this and I could say this. No need. And the older you get, the more you realize it's just not necessary. Last week, recently, and a couple times this happens, like in my business. Obviously, I do a lot of YouTube videos, right? So I'm kind of known in the entertainment industry, and I'm known by actors all over the world, and I get recognized wherever I go. And I've kind of made a big, I'm not hiding under a rug. It's like I'm out here publicly saying what I think. Sometimes it's very blunt. Sometimes people don't like that. Most of the time they do. I don't make my decisions on who I'm being based on other people's reactions to me. I know who I am, and I present myself the best way I can with the help of God, and I try to do good work. on this planet. Good deeds. And sometimes I say things that might piss somebody off. So, has happened before. There are two people in particular who I will not name. One person is a girl, and she's an ass, and I've had an opportunity, I've literally thought of going over to her house and knocking on her door and telling her what an ass she is, but I choose not to, because I don't believe that would create more positivity, and wouldn't create more love, more kindness, and more peace. So I don't, and I don't even remember why I didn't like her. I could probably remember, but I don't dwell on it. I haven't thought about it in years. I'm only thinking about it because we're talking. But last week, this man in the business did something really shitty to me. Let me tell you, and he did it with a complete, just a horrible attitude, and it was totally unfounded, and he completely fucked me up. He totally tried to mess with me. And I had so many thoughts going through my mind, oh, I'm going to take that guy down. I'm going to spend the next 10 years of my life fucking him back up, And, I always learned, sleep on your reactions. Don't start emailing and calling and responding when you're mad. Because believe me, you'll say stuff you regret. Always wait a day or two. The situation isn't going to go anywhere, but your reaction will change, right? And though it might feel good to get something out at a director or another actor or a producer or a casting director, don't do it. Don't do it. So he did this really shitty thing to me, and I called my attorney, and my attorney said, you could do some serious damage to his business. This about him. That's illegal what he's doing. But in order to pursue that avenue, I would have to use a lot of my friends as witnesses that would then get caught up in a really bad situation. So I can't do it. Can't do it. So I made a decision to protect the people that I am in business with and that I love and that I respect, and not to go after this person who really was behaving badly. And, it creates more peace for me, and I just want you to learn that lesson, It never hurts the other person as much as you'd like it to, right? It hurts yourself when you fester on negative situations or you create drama. There's a book called The 4 Agreements, and it talks about not taking things personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best, and keep your word. These are terrific and important things to learn to do. And they're really helpful when you're building relationships with people. You may find that somebody, give people grace. Give people slack. Some people just might be having a bad day. Somebody might have a circumstance that you don't understand that's causing them to feel or act in less than their best. There's a story about a guy who's on a bus, and he's riding a bus, and there's just children running around and running around and running around and screaming and making noise, and the father's just sitting there doing nothing, and the kids are driving everybody crazy, and the guy who's on the bus finally excuse me, sir, but could you please get your children under control? They're driving everybody nuts. And he said, I just came from the hospital, and I lost my wife, and I don't know what to do with them. You don't know what other people are going through. You don't know their circumstances. And it's important to be graceful and respectful of others and treat them the way you want to be treated. And if you don't, you can make enemies in this business. You can burn bridges. You could lose agents. You could lose managers. You can, word gets around and everybody knows everybody. So I just want you to start thinking about that. You need to grow up if you're going to be in this business. Learn to take things like, it just doesn't matter. Stay focused on your agenda, your goals, your actions, your path. You're running your own race. Everybody else is in their own race. What they're doing is none of your business. What you're doing is none of their business. What you think about them is none of their business. What they think about you is none of your business. Just focus on your goals. And life will be so much easier. The relationships you build in Hollywood will be stronger. And you will leave the set being someone other people want to work with. Not the egomaniac that's flying off the handle, yelling at everyone and taking everything personally and acting like their ego's offended. Nobody wants to rehire those people. And there are people in this business who have a reputation for acting like that, and they can hardly work. I will not mention names. You can Google it and you'll find out. I can think of many. But don't be that person, Be the person that people want to keep calling back and bringing in on jobs and leave a good taste in people's mouths. Okay? That's my advice for you all today. I'm building a brand new website. It's got so many amazing things. It's a membership site for only members, and I'm giving away all of the inside information I know in a really organized format that's just going to walk you step by step through everything that you need to do to become a working actor. And I'm so proud of it, and I'm so excited. I can't wait working on it for the whole next week. So y'all take care now, you hear? And follow your dreams. Don't let anyone get in the way of them. And I'll see you on the red carpet. Bye.